Hopefully my camera's secure. Oh, okay. I meant to turn that off. All right. I will have to go back and edit this later. All right. This is the hardest part, and this is when my camera usually falls down. Okay, there we go. And I didn't have to. All right. So if there are any comments, I won't be able to look at them until I'm at a stop sign or anything. And I take back roads, and I'm very hat day at school, so they said you could wear a headband. So that's why the bright colored headband. I want to talk about friendship breakups. Before I start, I want to just say that I'm going through this right now, so it's still very raw. I'm going to try to get through this video without literally breaking down crying. And I'm also not going to give away too many details for obvious reasons. This person has no idea that, you know, I even have a YouTube channel, and I don't want to talk behind their back, or especially on such a public platform. You know, I may make this video private later. I haven't decided. I guess I need some. So I'm going to YouTube with all, you know, my public thousands of friends. Well, I don't know how many will end up watching this. But, I mean, let me know if you've had a friendship breakup. Now, most friendship breakups that I've had have been just, you move away, you move jobs, you move circumstances, you move on with life, you're in different life circumstances. Maybe you were in college together, and now your friend's still single, and you're married and have a baby, and then you kind of drift apart. Those I expect, and those usually happen gradually, so it's not like a clean break. Or even friends that you are kind of still in your life, but you decide you don't really want to be friends with them anymore. It's usually like a few small things happen, and then you slowly but surely just move away from each other. This is literally like a clean, like one day we're spending time together, we are eating lunch together every day, we're sharing everything, and the next day we're not. So, all right, I'm gonna try. I might end this if I just can't get through without crying. I'm not gonna say I've never had it end this abruptly. I've had some, but it's been a long time. And this feels like a romantic breakup. Like, I've done all the things. Oh gosh, I might just end the video now. Say hi if you're here. I see that one person is watching. I, you know, cried all weekend. I wrote her a letter that I'll never send to her. I've been listening to the same song over and over and over again. Made up my own lyrics that have to do with us. Hi, Kathy. I see that you have a new video out. I'm really glad that you're back to your channel and you're making videos again. I enjoy your videos, and I like your life advice, and we're in the same phase of life, except I don't have any grandchildren, but similar. Have you ever had a friendship breakup, Kathy? And have you ever had one that ended abruptly? So anyways, thank you. Yeah, please pray for me. Yeah, I'm not sure. I might just have to change the subject. I'm not sure I can even get through this without crying, because this just happened, and this is, so every single day we eat lunch together. I want to read what you're saying, but it's not safe. Yeah, we talk several times a day. We text all the time. And have you ever heard like the career advice? And I've lived this before. I'm not a spring chicken, so I've had life experiences, and I kind of knew, but I thought this would be different. That you're really not supposed to be friends with people you work with. There can be a lot of problems, and also you don't you don't get to choose who you work with. You know, that's chosen for you. That's somebody else chooses that, and it's like usually people can be so different from you, where you're like, if we didn't work together, we would never talk. Like, you're in different life stages, you're different ages, you're just very different in your beliefs. And so this was different. We have present tense so much in common. We are about the same age, we have kids the same age, we both have a faith in God and had belonged to cults, and now we don't. We had a lot in common. And we have a lot in common. We are of the same political beliefs, which, hey, there was an election this year, if you didn't know. So we both like to listen to political podcasts, which that's rare to find a friend who does all that the same as you. Can you, now I'm driving over the yellow line. Can you still hear me? Because it said it wasn't connecting. And okay, let me know if you're still there, you can still hear me. I guess I'm gonna, when I tell you this, I'm gonna give away our relationship, but I still won't say anything too personal about her. So she was the other preschool teacher. We did a lot of things together, like we do recess together, we help each other at dismissal time, we plan together because we try to both do the same thing. We have twins, one's in her class, one's in my class, and I thought from the very beginning it'd be great if we just did the same things each week and the mom could work with both kids on the same things, you know, so we do a lot together. I can very quickly, she went from the coworker category to the friend category, and even very quickly from that, like a good friend, almost like a best friend, although I hesitate at my age to call anyone a best friend you haven't known very long, because, well, here we are now. I know why. But I did consider her my teacher bestie. I never told her that because that's like weird, but you know, we both were new to the school. Actually, all 6 people in both preschool classes were all new to the school this year. So I did things for her, with her, that I wouldn't do just for any normal coworker. For example, like when, okay, sorry. She was having problems with her TAs, and I literally spent the whole weekend going back and forth with her, taking her phone calls, taking her texts, trying to help her figure out how she was going to handle this situation when Monday came around, reading an email or a letter she was going to send them. So that's something you wouldn't just do for any normal coworker. I always, and like I still am on a professional level, but always willing to help her class, to the point where my TAs would be like, that we don't need to do that, that's not our responsibility, and I would argue with them. We need to help them out. She does so much for us. Her TAs are now mad at us. That's a whole nother story I won't even get into. But anyways, for a while we were all on the same page, but even with her TAs being mad at us, I still was like, you need to help them. I would argue with my own TAs about they need to go and help their class when they need it. Just to let you know, they have a much bigger caseload than we do, so they need more help more often. So what happened was, I'm gonna again not give too many details, fall over. I'm just gonna make sure it's secure. I may blow over into this because this is not safe. It finally happened. It's bound to happen sometime, but we had a disagreement about something that happened with a student. And you're probably asking, is that your student or their student? Her student. It's one of those rare cases where it's both, which is a complicated situation. Let me explain. So it is her student, but they were trialing the student in my class. In other words, they thought maybe they, meaning like my vice principal who's head of SPED, the mom wasn't, I don't know. We all thought my class might be a better fit for this student. I'm pulling over right now. And so the student was trialing in my class, meaning we're doing like a 4-week trial on, I'm just making sure the camera's secure. Oh, now I can read what you're saying. I'm curious to know what happened. Did she literally say, I'm not your friend anymore? I'm curious. Yeah, hopefully this is, so we had a disagreement about how to handle a situation with this student. All right, I'm trying to get back out. Okay. So basically she's communicating with the parent. She's technically still this student's case manager, even though he's in my class, until we decide permanently he's going to my class. She's still the case manager, so she still has all the communication with the parent. So basically she's communicating with the parent and then relaying the messages to me, which I didn't agree about how to handle one particular situation. I told her why. I told her, you know, my opinion on why I think it should be done this other way. And she then sends me an email saying, no, I think it should be done that way, which then I see her in person and tell her, well, I asked the parent a question and they said this and this is why. And then she said again, right before the student was gonna come to my class, like what she wanted. So I said, okay, I think there's miscommunication. I gave the parent my email. I said, I think things are getting misconstrued with having the 3 of us go back and forth. You can contact me directly. And I asked the same question I asked the day before. I was like, how are you handling this at home? And she told me, she said, and I said, okay, I'm gonna handle it this way in the classroom. She said, okay, whatever you think, whatever you're comfortable with. So I did consult the parent as well before doing things this way. I walk away with the student, bring him to my classroom. She then goes and talks to the parent. I see her talking to the parent. I do have that thought in my mind, what if she's talking to her about this? But then I thought, no, she wouldn't do that to me. We're friends. You know, she wouldn't do that. So anyways, this is at we have a morning class and an afternoon class. This is at the midday switchover. So usually my job is I sit out there and wait for the bus. My TAs stay in the classroom. And they wait for me to stay over the walkie. The bus is here and they bring out the kids who are going to go on the bus. We keep them in the classroom. So I'm sitting out there the whole time. I don't even know that this is going to happen. Apparently she goes in my classroom, takes the kid, takes his backpack, very mad, takes him to her classroom. My TAs come outside and they said, why did she do this? She came in really mad. I said, I had no idea. I bring the kids in and say to her what, she said, I'm keeping the student in my class today. I say, okay, can we talk about this? She said, yes. I don't know. Then I don't know how many details I want to go into. It goes back and forth. So because we're friends, never once did I send an email or say anything to my vice principal. Never once. I did the one time I did send an email to my vice principal, I CC'd her on it. So there was complete transparency. And all it said was, I really would like to set up a meeting between the 3 of us. So suddenly the next day he was back in my class. I suspected maybe she was talking to the vice principal, just because why would she all of a sudden agree to have him back in my class? Maybe she said something. Anyway, the vice principal was out because she had something going on in her family, a family emergency. So she wasn't even there. So then she comes back. I try to talk to her, but she's busy, understandable. You know, she just gets back in and after having things go on in your life, you probably have a million things to deal with. So I never get to tell my side of the story. Well, apparently the whole time she was telling her side of the story. to the vice principal. So I feel very betrayed because she talked to the parent behind my back without trying to work things out with me first. I'd rather literally have a fight, have a yelling match that could be forgiven, and then have a united front to the parent. She's going behind my back to the vice principal saying things, which I never, ever, ever did to her. And now I've learned, like, she's telling her side, I've got to tell my side. So finally yesterday, the vice principal comes in and asks me what happened. I tell her my side of the story, and she's like, oh, okay, that's very different than what I was told. Which confirmed what I suspected, was that she was telling the vice principal things. So now I know. So I feel like, because I thought we were friends, that you wouldn't do that. That we could work things out behind the scenes, that we could have a disagreement. But here's the problem. Like, I just want to forgive her because it was so abrupt. Like, we're eating lunch every day. But she said some things to me that, like, even if we kind of make up, it can't go back to the way it was. She literally refuses to even try to see my side of the story. She tells me she's advocating for this kid and that she's doing the right thing. Well, I just have a different opinion of how things should be done. And I don't think I'm doing this kid any wrong. And she was going to leave the school literally one day, and the very next day she said, I'm not leaving the school anymore. I want to stay because I don't want the kids to have a bad teacher. Basically, because next year we're downsizing from 4 classes to 2, and the choices were, if one of us leaves, one of us teaches both classes, or we both stay and each get a class. So she's staying just so that I don't have to be the student's teacher next year. And no, she said, I don't want the kids to have a bad teacher. And I said, so you think I'm a bad teacher? She goes, oh no, that's not what I meant. You just said you're staying because you don't want the kids to have a bad teacher. I'm gonna be their teacher if you leave. So you're saying I'm a bad teacher. She also told me this yesterday in an email, that I'm not doing my job. Because her idea of doing your job is just doing whatever the parents say. I believe the parents have a huge say in what should go on. I've been a special needs parent too, but I believe then it's a decision with everybody, with the parent, with you as the teacher being the one in the classroom, and, you know, my vice principal, which is the SPED department. Like, we all talk about it and discuss. It's not like the parent says this and you do this. And like I said earlier, I even had a conversation with the parent who agreed with me. So it's not like I just did what I wanted to do without talking to the parent. So she's telling me I'm not doing my job, telling me I'm a bad teacher, went behind my back to handle this. So it's like, even if we are able to mend this, I don't think it'll ever be the same, because those are things you can't take back once you've said them. And now I know not to trust her. Now I know if we have a disagreement that I have to also go to my send a private email to my vice principal telling her my side of the story, because she's obviously doing that to me, and that she won't help me. So this is hard. It's like, so it's very abrupt, and it's like a romantic relationship when you have, like, I mean, it's been a while for me. I've been married for quite a while, but it's like when you have a big blow up and it's like you were eating lunch with them and now you're not. The first time you go to lunch and they're not there, you miss them. Yesterday we had encore. We usually combine classes, and then I love it because then we're there with the kids, but I also get to be there with her. We did it separately. We usually text all day about things that are going on. So it's like the first time it ended so abruptly. It wasn't a gradual thing where like you're growing apart or you've had a few annoying things and you just start talking less and less. This was like every day we're together and we do these things together, and the next day we're not. So there's a huge hole there. Yeah, and I do miss her. There's a part of me that just wants to go to lunch with her today. I don't know. But then, like, if she said something to me like, you're not doing your job, I could see me being unprofessional or there being a yelling match in the teacher's lounge, and that wouldn't be good. And the other layer to this is that we work together. So where do you draw the line? Like, we've got to be professionals. I don't want to just cry, and these are my feelings, like maybe I would if we were just friends and not coworkers, because we're still gonna have to work together. Now she's sane just to spite me, and we have to have a professional relationship, which I know how to be professional. We'll have a new normal if we never go back to being friends again. We will have a new normal of just being coworkers, and I know to watch my back now. I almost cried in front of her one day, so we actually did hug, but then the damage is just done. The damage is so done. And I wish, like, if she could see what she did wrong, like, I try to see the other person's point of view and see what I did wrong in situations, but she's holding her ground like she did nothing wrong. And so then it's hard to mend things and forgive if the other person can't see what they're doing wrong. So yeah, it's like every day I go to work and things are different, and it's even the little things, like when I first come in the morning and I walk by your classroom, I look in to see if you're there, and if you are, I open the door and just say hi to you, even if it's a brief hello. It's looking forward to recess because I get to talk to you. It's all those little things. It's those little things, like if you're at lunch and you bring yourself a kind bar, you bring an extra for her, and she's done it for me. It's those little things. And I, again, know that you're not supposed to be friends with your coworkers. I literally thought it would be different. Aren't I dumb? Like, it's always like, this is different. It's different with me. It's different with her. There's so many, if you go to career advice videos, there's so many videos out there that are like, coworkers are not your friends. And I believe that, and I've lived that, and I've seen how that can go wrong in the past in different ways than this. Like, this has been the biggest where I think we're like really close and really good friends, or at least in my mind we were. Maybe to her I wasn't. Maybe I was just a coworker to pass the time while she was there, just to have someone to talk to at lunch. But the thing is too, is we went really deep sometimes. I told her things that I wouldn't normally tell coworkers. Like, we talked about relationships with our husbands. We talked about things in our past. Like, we went deep sometimes. And I don't go deep easily with a lot of people, so that meant a lot to me too. So I don't know. Like, I don't know what else I even have to say about this. I'm gonna be at work and I'm gonna see her again. Of course, my TAs and I have talked about the whole situation. What are you gonna do? You're with people at work. My sister, she's good at career advice. She's really, really good at career stuff. So she called me for a different reason. And she was like, look, you got to be professional, handle it this way. As soon as you walk in those doors, it has to be all professional. So I'm trying. And she even said to me, like, maybe your TAs who are listening to you and being there for you, maybe like they're proving to be really the friends you wanted. Maybe just because you guys were different in life circumstances, you know, like you're different ages, you're different life stages, like you didn't consider. I mean, maybe. I am careful not to. Oh yeah, and we're Facebook friends. I know that is crazy. I usually put up a line with people at work, and I've even told people when they've requested me as friends, like at past jobs, like, look, I don't think it's professional. I don't usually become Facebook friends with people I work with. She requested me as a friend, and I said yes, because this was different. And then I'm literally acting like a breakup, where you're like, I hide her from my news feed, then decide to go see what she posted, and then wondering, is that a cryptic message about me? You know what I mean? It's really dumb. It's really dumb. It's really like, it's childish, and I recognize that here. But, you know, it doesn't matter how old you are. Like, things just are the same, no matter if you're a teenager in your 20s. Let's see what you're saying. I would encourage you to be cordial and professional, but leave it there. Yes. Don't talk about it with your TAs if you can avoid it. Gossip will also happen behind your back, and they will repeat what you said. Yeah, it's hard not to, because I'm going through this, and this is a situation that involves our whole class, because this is something we're doing with this student in our class. I mean, I could be naive, because I don't think they will repeat it back to her, because they don't have a relationship with her, number one. Number two, it used to be that all 6 of us, both classes, were really close. We had a falling out with her TAs. They're mad about something we didn't do maybe a month ago. Of course, I thought this would be something that they would be mad about and then get over, but they've held a grudge. So, like, we never talked. Their TAs don't talk to my TAs. We don't talk to each other that much unless we have to. So I actually don't think it'll. But it's hard not to, because we're talking about together. This was a decision in how we handled a situation in our class, and we decided this together. I decided it with them. Honestly, yeah, I'm a career switcher teacher, so both my TAs actually have more experience. They both came from daycares where they've worked in situations, and one of my TAs suggested we handle things this way, and she told me why, and she told me ways that she's handled it. Now, it's ultimately my classroom. I can decide how. It's ultimately my decision how it was handled. I thought she made a good point. I thought she had good, valid reasons. I said, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, yeah, let's handle it this way. Which the other, my co-teacher, the one I'm in the fight with, was like, I think it was her that said something. I said, look, my TAs make suggestions, and then we decide as a class together how we're going to handle things. So, anyways, that was a long way to say that I don't think it will be repeated back to the other class, because we all now are not speaking. It's so hard when women all work together. The good thing is, I feel like with my TAs, we have a good, decent, professional working relationship. We're not friends outside of work, but we work well together. Whenever one of my TAs has been there longer than the other, and if ever we have had issues, we've talked them out, and she's pretty honest with me, which I like. I'm the type of friend that's upfront and honest. And I feel like she didn't do that with me, or person who's upfront and honest as well. Like, my TA and I can disagree and talk about things, but this, like, she wasn't honest with me. She went behind my back and talked to the parent, talked to the vice principal, pulled the kid out. Like, and it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Kathy, and whoever else watches this later, gotta run. Okay, thank you. I want to have lunch with her today. I do. But that's dumb, because we haven't worked this out, and that's not going to end well. Anyways, now I feel like I'm just repeating things over and over again. It's probably time to end this live. If anybody else is here, I've gotten 3 likes. As soon as I get to this stop sign up here, I'm going to end this. And I'm getting close to school, so I'm to the point where I could be driving right around people that are driving by. Hold on. Sorry. Oh, it's yellow light, but I was almost through it anyway. All right, as soon as I'm at a complete stop, this thing is ending. Okay. Thank you for listening, Kathy, and anyone else who sees this later, which I might even make this private later. All right. Of course, I was about to stop, and now I'm going again. Hopefully I just look like I'm in a video call, because now I'm in a much more congested area and have people all around me who can see what I'm doing, or instead of on back roads where you kind of just feel like you're by yourself. All right, here I go. I'm gonna end it. I'm almost stopped. Bye, guys.